department got dispatched a report, and so I was dispatched as the first officer to arrive at the scene.
Could you describe your initial investigation of the scene?
Yeah, so when I arrived, I first secured the perimeter, as any good detective would do, and then I interviewed Roe McGee, who found the body, and that's when I learned that Devin O'Malley was the victim, and I saw no other further investigation to do outside, so I went inside to some spare key.
And what did you see inside the house, detective?
As I walked into the house, I went up the stairs, and then what I saw was broken glass everywhere. There were open drawers, knocked over furniture, clothes, and other random things strewn all about the scene. But also notably was there were 3 bullet holes. There was one above the bed in the bedroom, there was one in the northwest corner, and there was one in the left shoulder of Devin O'Malley. The scatter of these bullets and all the other evidence in the scene is consistent with the struggle.
Objection, Your Honor.
He's already answered the question.
Yes, Your Honors.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you describe Declan's body?
Yes, so Devlin's body, he had a broken neck, which was his cause of death, and he also had blood all over his shirt owing to that aforementioned bullet wound in his left shoulder, and it appeared that Devlin had been pushed out of the window given the broken glass and cuts all over his body.
And what did you conclude based on your initial investigation of the scene?
Well, I concluded that this was no accident, and there was now a murderer at large, and it was up to me to solve this case.
Detective, upon re-examining the scene, did you find anything else?
I actually found one thing when investigating. It stuck out with the sore thumb. There was this crumpled up receipt, and it was quite interesting as there were no other receipts found at the crime scene.
How did this receipt affect your investigation?
Well, it was a very crucial and vital part of my investigation, but more importantly, it led me to suspect Mr. Garcia further.
Why did it lead you to suspect Mr. Garcia?
Well, there was a high bill total and a $0 tip, and there were also frustrating markings on the receipt, like a brownie face and repeated underlines. So that suggested to me that the person who made the receipt had a strong reaction to the transactions on the receipt.
And how did you connect this to Mr. Garcia?
Well, from what I recall, this receipt was a Doyle's Pub merchant coffee receipt from the night of Mabel Valley's wake.
Were you present at Doyle's the night of Mabel Mally's wake?
I was.
Who was the bartender that night?
It was Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Detective. Now, did anything else occur at the scene before you left?
Yes, so before I left the scene, Francis Mugumbo showed up, and even though Francis Mugumbo was supposed to help me and aid me in my investigation, she didn't do much. She didn't really help. I did all of the investigation.
Now, Detective, after concluding your investigation of the scene, what did you do next to follow up on that receipt?
I went and investigated Doyle's Pub.
And what did you do at Doyle's Pub?
I conducted my own investigation around the pub, and that's when I noticed some odd markings on Mr. Garcia. It looked like bruises.
And what did you do next?
Well, I confronted Miss Dick about these bruises, and she gave me some bad excuse about a keg accident, but I didn't really buy it because the patterns of the bruising didn't match up with the excuse, so I took note of this for further investigation.
And what did you do after concluding your investigation at Doyle's?
After that, I went and interviewed Jess O'Malley at the station.
And what was your expert opinion on this interview?
In my expert opinion, Jess O'Malley could be ruled out as a suspect because Jess O'Malley had an alibi and no sufficient motive to murder.
Thank you, Detective. Now, I'd like to talk about another investigation, Detective Mugumbo's investigation. What was Detective Mugumbo's involvement in the original case?
As I previously mentioned, Detective Mugumbo was brought in to aid me in my investigation, but she didn't do any aid or help. I had to do the entire investigation myself.
And did you bring up your leads connecting to Mr. Garcia to Detective Mugumbo?
I did bring them up, and as the investigator, I thought that Detective Mugumbo would agree with them, but she really did not, and it was because of this that the case went cold.
And why weren't you able to pursue these leads?
You know, I really thought that these leads I had strong faith in them, and I trust myself as a detective, but the brass had to shut down my leads and investigation because they agreed with Detective Mugumbo, which is outrageous as I'm the detective. Detective Mugumbo is just there to aid me in my investigation, so my leads and opinions should have priority.
And are you aware that the case was reopened in 2023? And are you aware of anyone who's confessed to this murder?
Mr. Garcia.
And what's your expert opinion regarding that confession?
Well, I wouldn't rely on it too heavily. A good confession is in line with the evidence, and in this case, I mean, if it doesn't, it may be untrue and unreliable. In this case, Mystic's implication in their confession with Jesse, having any implication of murder, it lacks any evidentiary basis, and therefore I found it unreliable.
Do you have any doubt that Mr. Garcia committed this murder?
Yeah, no, I do not have any doubt that Mr. Garcia committed the murder. I mean, part of the confession is true, I believe. I mean, it's certain that Mr. Garcia committed the murder, but the implication that Jess had involvement is unreliable.
Now, what is your expert opinion regarding Detective Mugumbo's investigation?
Well, the Detective Ogumbo's involvement with the investigation discovered significant procedural errors.
What were these procedural errors?
Well, first off, when I consulted with Ogumbo with my leads suspecting Mr. Garcia, who, mind you, confessed to being the killer, they did not agree, and that's what led the brass to shut down my investigation. And Detective Ogumbo also did not take the 3 important investigative steps, being to do any follow-up interviews, pursue alternative suspects, and do any investigation at all. I had to do all the investigation, and Detective Ogumbo did not do any.
Now, Detective, regarding all the evidence, including the evidence from the case's reopening, what is your opinion regarding Jesse O'Malley's involvement in this case?
I've seen no evidence that implicates Jess in this case at all. I mean, Detective Ogumbo is relying on the confession, which is unreliable, on the confessed killer, and she's also with no evidence at all, assuming that Jess O'Malley paid Mystic through Levinas without even issuing a subpoena for Jesse's bank records. I mean, I've seen no evidence that Jesse has any implication in this case.
Thank you, Detective. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. O'Connor. Ms. Alvarez, cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honors. So, you had a hard time adjusting to Burley, right?
I mean, I moved from Coachella, and I mean, imagine moving somewhere where you have no idea who anyone is. Of course, I'd have a hard time adjusting.
Yes. In fact, your only friend was Jesse O'Malley, right?
So I went to Doyle's as I didn't know anybody, and there I would just read Puzzlers Illustrated. And one fateful night, Jess came up to me.
So that is a yes to my question.
I wouldn't say he's my only friend. I was studying with my coworkers at the police department too.
So is it your testimony that Jesse O'Malley is not your only friend in Burley?
He was one of my friends.
But that would mean that you knew Jesse O'Malley prior to investigating this case.
Yes, I was friends with him, so I would know who he was prior to the case.
Yes, thank you. And to move on to your detective work, you became a detective pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, just 3 short years because of my excellent skills.
Yes, and you can't tell us about any specific education you had received to become a detective.
I didn't receive specific education, but I have the experience.
And can you tell us about any specific training you received to become a detective?
I didn't have any training to become a detective, but I mean, life is experience, and in 3 years I would work on multiple cases, and that allowed me to get my promotion in just 3 years.
Okay, so you can't tell us about any school that you went to specifically to be a detective.
Objection, Your Honor, has an answer.
Your Honor,
I'll sustain the objection. You asked it and he answered.
yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, as a detective, your first case was the Declan O'Malley case.
My first case as a lead detective was the homicide case with Declan O'Malley, yes.
Yes, and in this case, you looked at evidence.
Of course, as a detective, all detectives need to look at evidence, and the evidence I gathered is that Mystic Garcia committed the murder, and Jess O'Malley has no implication.
Yes, because you found one piece of evidence on the crime scene.
Can you repeat that?
You found one document on the crime scene.
One document on the crime scene, but I found other pieces of evidence.
Yes, and this was the receipt, correct?
I did find a receipt at the crime scene. It stuck out like a sore thumb. I mean, there were no other receipts anywhere at the crime scene.
Yes, and you linked this receipt to Mystic.
I did link this receipt to Mystic.
Because it had N. Garcia on it, right?
That's what I remember, but yeah, yes.
So if you were to see this receipt, you would recognize it, correct?
I would recognize it, yes.
Your Honor's permission to retrieve was remarked as Exhibit 6 for the clerk.
You may.
The record reflects that I am now showing opposing counsel what has been marked as Exhibit number 6. Permission to approach the witness, Your Honors?
You may.
So this is the receipt, correct?
I believe so. This is the receipt I found at the crime scene.
So, since that is the receipt, could you please point to where it says N. Garcia?
I don't see M. Garcia on here. I mean, it was crumpled up and there were other markings on it. I could have just misremembered.
But earlier you said that you believed that there was N. Garcia on the receipt you found.
From what I remember, She clearly showed me that there's no Garcia. But either way, I can link this to Mr. Garcia as it's from the night of the wake of Mabel Valley, and I was there that night, and Mr. Garcia was the bartender.
Yes, you were there that night, but did you see Mr. Garcia serve Declan O'Malley that night?
I didn't see him serve, or I didn't see her serve Declan specifically, but I know Mrs. Garcia was the bartender that night, so she would have, yes.
Yes, and just to clarify, Mr. Garcia's name is nowhere on that receipt.
It's not on the receipt, but either way, you can link it to Mr. Garcia.
So when you turned in this evidence, it was rejected.
I mean, even though, it's outrageous that it was rejected. It's because Detective Mugumbo, who is aiding me in the case, I'm the lead detective, and the brass, for some reason, agreed with her opinion on the receipt and the leads.
Thank you so much for your input, and you found this receipt at Declan O'Malley's home.
It was crumpled up under the doorway in Declan's bedroom, yes.
And you were told that this receipt could have belonged to Declan, not Mystic.
Could you repeat that?
You believe that you were told that this receipt could have belonged to Declan.
Yeah, that's what they told me. That's what the brass
Yes,
told me.
not Mystic.
They said it could have, but it's clear that it was Mystics.
And you were frustrated when this case was closed.
Refresh when it.
You were frustrated when this case was
Oh,
closed.
I was frustrated? Yeah, as a lead detective, my leads and investigations have priority, and they sided with Mugumbo, and I really can't. I just can't stay with a department that doesn't support me.
So much so that you quit the BPD.
Can you repeat that?
So much so that you quit the BPD.
I quit the BBD because I can't work for a department that just shuts down all my leads.
Yes, and instead you decided to become a YouTuber, right?
I did decide to become a YouTuber, and it's called, my YouTube channel is called Celebrating Neat Hobbies that require exacting focus on eeny weeny teeny
Thank you so much for answering the question. And so with that, you never joined the BPD ever again.
I didn't rejoin the PPD because I knew that they were just going to shut down all my leads and I can't work for
So the Declan O'Malley case was your last case.
It was my last case, yes.
And because of that, you were never a part of the second investigation.
I was not part of the second investigation, but I was refreshed and I know many details about it.
So you only have information from the first investigation.
As I said before, I was refreshed on the second investigation, so I do have some details on that.
Which, to clarify, was 8 years ago.
The first investigation was 8 years ago, but I have been refreshed on the current investigation as well.
But you did not conduct that second investigation.
I did not. I was Francis Mugumbo.
Yes, we are not personally a part of that investigation at all.
I wasn't personally a part of it, but as lead detective in the first investigation, I feel like the information that I have to offer is important as well.
Thank you, Mr. Slate, but you are no longer a detective, right?
No longer a detective, but at heart I am.
Meaning you only have that one evidence, the receipt from the first investigation.
I have multiple evidence. I have the bruising on Miss Garcia. She lied to me.
Yes, but you have no other documents.
No physical documents, but I have other evidence.
In fact, you have no documents with Mystic's name on it.
Not with Mrs. name, but I can, if you're referring to the receipt, you can link it to Miss Garcia.
Which, to clarify, does not have M. Garcia.
It doesn't have M. Garcia on it, they can link it to Mystic because it's from the night with the wake of Mabel Malley and Mystic was the bartender.
You did not see Mystic serve this receipt?
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered.
It has been asked and answered already. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, have you seen... So, you did not see Declan with this receipt either?
I didn't physically see Declan with the receipt, but it was found in Declan's home, and once again, it's linked to Mr. Garcia. It's from the night of the wake of Mabel Malley, and Mr. Garcia was the bartender. This is a merchant copy from Joel's phone.
Thank you. Your Honors, no further questions.
All right, thank you. Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor, just one question. May I proceed?
Yes.
Detective Slade, is there any doubt whatsoever that Mr. Garcia, who confessed to killing Declan O'Malley in this courtroom today, committed the murder?
I have no doubt whatsoever that Mr. Garcia committed the murder.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Any requests?
No, Your Honors. Permission to retrieve the exhibit from the stand?
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Samir Slade, please step down from the stand.
Mr. Turbio, your next witness.
Your Honor, the defense calls the defendant Jesse O'Malley's sister.
Jesse O'Malley, please report to the stand.
Your Honor, before I proceed, may I confer with the timekeeper how much time we have left?
You have 13 minutes, 7 seconds.
Thank you. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
Good evening, Mr. O'Malley. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Of course. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Your Honors. My name is Jesse James O'Malley. Most people just call me Jess. Much like Mr. Terrio, actually, I'm a practicing attorney, so usually I'm the one asking the questions, but today I'll be the one answering them.
Now, before we get into your testimony, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your Fifth Amendment rights. Did anyone coerce you to take the stand today?
No one here testifying on my own volition.
Are you aware of your right to not take the stand today?
Yes.
And is everything you tell the court today an honest recollection of events?
It will be.
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley. Now, could you please give a little background about yourself so that the jury gets to know you a little better?
Well, I hail from the famous O'Malley clan. If you're from really Idaho, you probably know how deep-rooted we are within the farming community. But really, that's just my family growing up. I always really wanted to become a lawyer because of this one show. I'm not sure if you heard it's called Suits.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Your Honor, if I may, Mr. O'Malley is just giving a brief background about himself and just allowing the jury to get to know him a little bit.
I'll allow the testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. O'Malley, could you continue?
Yeah, so I've just always really wanted to become a big-time lawyer. So following high school, I went to the University of Connecticut where I majored in political science and eventually received the honor of summa cum laude.
And after graduating summa cum laude from the University of Connecticut, where did you go?
I went to the most prestigious law university in the United States of America. I went to Yale Law School, where I received the second highest honor, which is magna cum laude.
And after graduating magna cum laude from Yale Law School, where did you go after that?
Unfortunately, I had to come back home because Ivy League schools come with Ivy League levels of debt, and that was not a burden I could take on at the time. Being at Hurley, I had a stable job working out of my parents' pub, and didn't really have to pay rent, and I could even study for my bar exams. So it was just a lot easier if I just came out home.
Now, Mr. O'Malley, the $1 million question, why are you testifying here today?
I'm here to clear my name of the false accusations that woman over there, Mr. Garcia, has made against me.
Sorry, what accusations has Mr. Garcia made against you?
She alleges that I hired her to kill my own brother, Declan.
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley. Now, let's talk about your relationship with your brother. How would you describe it?
Well, growing up, it was pretty normal with sibling onset rivalries, but after a while, it got complicated. We had a couple of issues in high school, but it really sparked up after my mom passed away, unfortunately, because of all the responsibilities that came with the estate.
And could you elaborate about the disagreements you had with Declan about the estate?
Well, Declan actually removed my executorship by talking my mom out of it. I never really understood.
And how did this make you feel?
I'll be honest, I was pretty angry. I mean, Declan had no experience working with the law and didn't really know what to do with the estate. I mean, he had just worked on the farm. I knew everything about how to properly budget it. I knew everything about how to properly disperse it to my family. And honestly, I just had more responsibility with all the knowledge I gained from going to law school.
And how did this affect your relationship with Declan?
Honestly, it damaged it. I mean, Declan would never let it die down. I mean, he would call me things like lawyer boy, which really dug into me. And it was so bad to the point where I couldn't even have a regular conversation with him without having a lawyer present.
And Mr. O'Malley, why is this significant in your part of Declan's death?
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that?
Why is this significant in your part in Declan's death?
Mr. Turby, I'm not sure what you're trying to imply. I had nothing to do with my brother's death. Absolutely nothing.
Now, Mr. Garcia testified that you paid her to kill your brother Declan. How do you know this?
First off, I didn't pay Mystic Garcia, and Mystic was actually hired by my brother Declan to work at the pub. It was pretty crazy just how me and her were always the ones together while working on our shifts. So we got pretty close enough to call and talk and text all the time.
And if I showed you one of these text messages, would you recognize it?
Of course.
Your Honor, may I retrieve what has been marked for identification purposes as exhibit number 5?
You may.
Let the record reflect and show opposing counsel exhibit number 5. Your Honor, it's on page 47 and 48. Mayor Coach Lewis. Mr. O'Malley, now heading to exhibit number 5. Do you know what this is?
Oh yes, these are text messages that came from my phone, which you missed it.
And how do you know what this is?
Yes, they came from my phone.
And is this a clear and accurate representation of text messages between you and Mr. Garcia?
Yes, they are.
Your Honor, the defense moves exhibit number 5 into evidence.
Any objection?
Yes, Your Honor, in regards to under the rule 801 hearsay.
And what is the objection that is offered for the truth of the matter asserted? What is the objection?
Yes, Your Honor, the text messages which has not been entered into court are offered for the truth of the matter stated and is an out-of-court statement.
Your response?
Your Honor, I would like to provide a hearsay exception to these statements pursuant to Rule 803-3 in the mock trials of evidence. We are not using these statements to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Rather, we are using it to show Mr. Garcia's then existing state of mind. And pursuant to Rule 803-3, motive is one of the state of minds that we are introducing, which pursuant to Rule 803-3 is admissible.
I'll allow the question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may we assume that exhibit number 5 is admitted?
Yes.
Now, Mr. O'Malley, from what Mr. Garcia told you, why did she dislike that?
I mean, I don't even know where to start. You just wanted to start listing all of them?
Just one for now.
Okay, well, a couple months after Mystic was first hired at Doyle's, it was actually Chico, Declan was apparently telling everybody that Mystic had something to do with her husband's murder, which, you know, I can understand how much that could hurt somebody when she had just lost her spouse. It was a pretty delicate topic, but at the end of the day, I had to just comfort her, you know, that's just kind of sort of Declan was.
And what else did she say to you?
A couple months after that, Declan was again spreading more rumors. This time it was about Mystic stealing from the bar. Again, I had to step in and comfort her. You know, that's just who Declan was. Don't take it too personally.
And what was the most significant thing Mr. Garcia said to you in these text messages that caught your attention?
Well, unfortunately, that came on the night of my mother's wake, and coincidentally the same day that I found out that my executorship was revoked. Declan actually stiffed Mystic of a $2,000 tip, and at the time Mystic was telling me about how in debt she was because her daughter Chloe unfortunately had appendicitis and didn't have insurance. So I fell for them and I stepped in and helped them.
And as a friend, what did you do to help Mr. Garcia out?
Well, I used everything I learned from going to both UConn and to Yale to help her set up our company, where I just helped her manage her finances and her bills, while setting up 2 clients just for her to start off with.
And what was this company called?
The Finance Work Star.
Why did you set up this company for her?
I mean, Mystic was in need, and I helped her. I mean, her daughter was sick, and she had bills to pay. So I was like, I felt for her. I was in the same situation.
And Mystic testified that you used this company, the finance, to pay her, and that you used Bitcoin. What do you know about Bitcoin?
First off, I didn't pay her again. And second off, I don't know the first thing about Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know how to get it. I don't know how to use it. I mean, I haven't even used a credit card since high school.
And Mystic also testified that through Bitcoin, you paid her $150,000 to kill your own brother. How would you have made those payments?
I never paid her. I didn't pay her a single dime because at the time I was still in Ivy League levels of debt. I mean, the only sort of money I received was my mom's life insurance payout, but all of those went straight to my bills and to my debt. And that was what I had, nothing else.
And Mystic testified that you told her to use the gun at the bar to kill your own brother. What do you know about that gun?
I didn't tell her to use that gun. That gun was actually bought by my mom before I even got back to Berkeley because there were a lot of disputes and heated arguments within our area. So my mom just wanted to have it in Doyle's for protection. And on top of that, all employees, new and old, knew about that gun as soon as they got there.
Now, let me take you back to the night that Mystic Garcia murdered Declan. What significant events that day, other than your brother's passing, happened?
Well, other than that, I just woke up, I did my daily Bible readings, watched my episodes. I was really just trying to prepare for my later meeting with Declan.
And what happened at that meeting with Declan O'Malley?
Well, I was really trying to talk to him about the estate and, you know, trying to reason with him about why he needs to reinstate me as the executor. But an underlying reason was I really just wanted to try to rekindle our relationship. I mean, we lost our long, it's time to put aside our differences. But Declan really just didn't want it much, so I just went back to Doyle's where I hung out with until he was actually covering for Mystic at the time.
And Mystic testified that at this same meeting, you were meant to sedate Declan O'Malley. How true is that?
I was not meant to do anything because I didn't do anything. I mean, I don't know the first thing about sedatives. I don't know how to get them, I don't know how to use them. And didn't Mystic say that Declan woke up? I don't think that's how sedatives work.
And Mystic testified at the same meeting that you were meant to leave a window open for Mystic for her to break in. How true is that?
And I wouldn't do that. I mean, I was with my brother that entire meeting. Why would I go around unlocking windows at his house? That's ridiculous.
Now, based on everything you testified to and throughout the proceedings of this trial, what happened the night Mystic Garcia murdered your brother?
Well, Mystic was pretty mad that she got stiffed with a $2,000 tab. She grabbed the gun at the bar that she already knew about. No one.
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
Your Honor, if I may, the defendant Jesse James O'Malley was sitting at that chair throughout the proceedings of this trial and has heard all the testimonies both for him and against him. He has personal knowledge of the evidence that was admitted in this trial.
Your Honor, may I respond?
Yes.
The witness is attempting to make a conclusion statement about what happened on the murder of Declan O'Malley. Therefore, in addition to that, under Rule 701A, opinion of a lay witness, they must not state any conclusion statements based on specialized knowledge. And in regards to that, since he is using specialized knowledge about the gun and the specific events, it would not be allowed under that rule.
Your Honor, if I may, pursuant to that same Rule 701 of the mock trials of evidence, 701A mentions that a witness can make a lay opinion if it is rationally based on the witness's knowledge. In this case, Mr. O'Malley is not speculating out of thin air, rather he is testifying to facts that have been proven in trial and with his personal knowledge, and is not asking for him to testify on any specialized knowledge.
I will sustain the objection.
Yes, Your Honor.
You can re-ask the question.
Your Honor, before proceeding, may I remove the testimony that has been answered to
Yes,
you?
you'll remove the testimony regarding the Mystic's removal of the gun.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honors.
So, Mr. O'Malley, what happened the day your brother passed away?
Mystic killed him.
And what happened after Mystic killed your brother?
Well, the Texas state was on her. I mean, that's I found out about that. But as soon as this case went forward, so did all the leads. And I was distraught. I mean, I really wanted my brother's brother to be brought to justice, but there was nothing that I could really do about it. So
Objection, Your Honor, narrative. I believe the witness is going out of scope from his initial question.
I'll sustain the objection.
Yes, Your Honor.
Break up the questions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Mr. O'Malley, how did this case reopen?
McGovern reopened the case because of some new evidence that popped up, and with that, he offered both me and Mystic a plea deal, and Mystic jumped on it immediately.
And let's talk about questioning with Detective McGovern. How did you handle questioning with her?
Well, I completely complied. I even waived my Miranda rights because I knew I had nothing to do with this.
And you testified that you received a plea deal from Detective McGovern. What were the contents of it?
It was the same exact plea deal that Mystic got. We reduced our charges from first degree murder to second degree murder.
And what did you do with this deal?
I didn't take it. I knew I had nothing to do with this because I was not involved whatsoever. And I really thought that Mystic had nothing to do with it either, but obviously I was wrong.
Now, Mr. O'Malley, based on everything you testified to here today and your personal knowledge, what have you done that made Mr. Garcia point the finger at you?
Look, I don't know. I mean, I was her introductory when she first came to Berkeley. I was the one who helped her out her hard times when Declan was making all these rumors about her. I mean, I was even the one who stepped in to help her when her daughter got sick and put into massive amounts of debt. I did all those things, and just for Mystic to create this elaborate plot that puts me at the center. I mean, I don't understand.
Now, Mr. O'Malley, what is your involvement in your own brother's death?
I have no involvement whatsoever. I did not pay Mystic. I did not coerce Mystic. I did not tell Mystic to do anything whatsoever to my brother. I didn't want to put my brother into harm's way.
Thank
That's the
you.
truth.
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I proceed? Good evening, Jesse.
Good evening.
Now, you left Berkeley to go to college in Connecticut, right?
Yes, I went to the University of Connecticut where I majored in political science.
But you eventually moved back to Berkeley.
That was after I went to Yale, Golden Dogs.
And that's because you were in a huge amount of debt.
Unfortunately, I mean, like I said before, I hated schools coming back because I was so dead. And my parents really wanted to have.
Thank you for answering my question. Now, you needed to pay off this debt, so you worked at your family's pub, Duenas, right?
Well, that wasn't the only reason. I mean, I was working at my family's pub so I could have time to study for my bar exams while also being able to pay for them. And it was just the ease of not having to pay for rent at the end of the day.
Right. You would even use your family's cash register as a personal ATM.
I mean,
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Answer.
Yes, Your Honor. This line of questioning is purely foundational. I'm simply laying foundation in regards to how Jesse's source of income was at during the time.
Your Honor, if I may, pursuant to Rule 403 in the mock trial rules of evidence, this evidence that the prosecution is admitting is highly prejudicial, and its prejudicial value highly and substantially outweighs its probative value in this case, as Mr. O'Malley's past of getting cash from the register at the bar doesn't show his source of income at all, and is misleading the jury in showing that Mr. Garcia had, or Mr. O'Malley, had a tendency to steal, which pursuant to Rule 403 is not admissible.
I'll sustain the objection and allow the question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll move on. Thank you, Your Honors. Now, moving on, your family also had a farm.
Well, it's gone back generations, yes.
And you were originally an executor for this estate.
My mom instated me as the executive estate originally, so Declan went and talked to her.
Right, and that changed on March 17, 2017.
Sorry, Shira, I'm so sorry.
March 17, 2017?
Yes.
And this was changed from you to Declan, is that correct?
My executorship was moved from mine to Declan.
Right. You thought this executorship was your rightful position.
When I talked about that, I really just meant that I had more responsibility and knowledge. And
Thank you for answering, but my question was that you thought you were the rightful position.
yes, as in I had more responsibility and knowledge to take care of it in comparison to Declan.
Thank you for answering, and this prompted you to get angry at Declan.
I didn't want Declan to make any wrong moves that would be
Right,
or
and this prompted you to yell
Objection,
at
Your Honor,
Declan.
badgering.
Oh, Your Honor, I believe that the witness had answered my question. I'm just simply moving on.
Okay, give him an opportunity to finish and then proceed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. May I ask opposing counsel to re-ask the question so my witness could give a full answer?
Yes, I already instructed
Thank
him
you.
to give him an opportunity.
Yes, Your Honors. Now, you yelled at Declan that night, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. The opposing counsel hasn't re-asked the question. I just want the witness to have have the opportunity to give a full answer before she moves on.
Will you ask the question that you had originally?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, this change had made you angry at Declan.
I mean, I just really didn't want Declan to make any wrong decisions that would be downfall for our family. I mean, that farm was the last thing we had of our mom. And, I knew how much of an attachment he had, but I really didn't want him to make any wrong decisions with it, because if he did, then we'd just lose out on everything we could have had, everything that our mom built for us.
Thank you. And you told and yelled at Declan that he would regret stealing your rightful position. Is that correct?
Again, it was because if he made any bad decisions, I mean, it would be the fallback of all of us. I mean, I still cared about what happened to all of us at the end of the day. That was my main goal. I wanted to make sure that our family could achieve some stuff and take steps forward in the right direction.
So what you're saying is that you wanted to continue your family's legacy.
Of course.
Yet you wanted to sell this farm, right?
Yes, by selling that farm, we can all take steps into the right direction with our careers, with our lives.
Right, and by continuing your family's legacy, you wanted to sell the farm as quickly as possible.
Not as quickly as possible. I mean, we sold the farm years after my brother passed away.
And now moving on, you also told Declan that he would regret not splitting the estate.
Splitting the estate, yes, because if Declan didn't split the estate with me until we left in shambles.
Right, because you wanted to sell the farm
Excuse me?
now. You wanted to sell the farm now.
I'm sorry, I'm confused on the question.
You wanted to sell your family's farm
yes, I wanted it to sell the farmland so that all three of us could get our rightful share.
And this was $1 million estate, right?
Excuse me?
This was worth millions of dollars of estate.
The estate as a whole was worth around $12 million, but me and Tony just decided to sell a small portion of it.
Thank you, but that was not my question. My question was that the property was worth millions.
Objection, Your Honor. Ask and answer.
No, I'll allow her to develop it.
Yes, sir.
Again, Jesse, I just asked if this property was worth millions.
Again, it was worth.
And if it was sold, thank you, and if it was sold, it would have helped pay your debt.
But it was never sold. We didn't sell the entire farm.
It was, a small portion was still sold, correct?
Yes, a small portion.
Thank you. Now, let's move on. We're also close friends with Mr. Garcia before.
Yeah, before all this went down, I would say I was pretty close to this thing, yes.
And you would help her with her business transactions.
Just two of them, though. I mean, I just wanted to help her get on her feet after I heard about what happened to her daughter.
And you recall making receipts before Declan's murder, correct?
Just the two again.
And these receipts totaled up to $25,000.
I wanted to make sure she could avoid her taxable income along with the even billables, so I designed it so that each of her.
Thank you, Jesse, but that was not my question. My question was that the receipts totaled $25,000.
Yes, the way I designed them so she could avoid her taxable income.
Thank you. And during the same time, you received $30,000 in life insurance.
Not the exact same time, but yes, I received $30,000 that went straight to my bills and my debt saving.
And would you say that 30 is greater than $25,000?
Objection, Your Honor. Faith.
I'll overrule that objection.
Yes, Your Honor.
You re-ask.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, you heard Ms. Sick's testimony, correct?
You re-asked the question. I wasn't sure I heard the answer.
Yes, Your Honor. Now, is 30 greater than 25?
If you're just taking them at face value, then $30,000 is greater than $25,000.
And you heard Ms. Sick's testimony today, correct?
I did hear Missy's testimony.
And that she was in $25,000 of debt during the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about anything other than the $25,000 debt. Maybe there was other debts she had too, but that was the only one I really knew about because of her daughter.
And would you say that your $30,000 you received could have helped her pay that $25,000?
I kind of had to put myself first, unfortunately, in that situation. I had bills to pay. I had my debts to pay. I didn't want.
Thank you, Jesse. But my question was that your $30,000 could have been used to pay her debt, correct?
But it wasn't used. But
It could have been.
it could have been, but it wasn't used.
Thank you. And again,
Your time's up.
thank you, Jesse. Your Honor, no further questions.
May I proceed?
You may.
Now, Mr. O'Malley, what did you do with the money that you gained from the sale of the farm and the life insurance payout?
They all went straight to my debts, unfortunately. And my life is just debt. Because everything that I've done, yeah, that's pretty much it.
And Mr. O'Malley, did you use any of this money to pay Mr. Garcia to kill your own brother?
Absolutely not.
And, yeah. Mr. O'Malley, did you have any part in Mr. Garcia's murder of your brother?
No, I had nothing to do with this murder.
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley. No further questions, Your Honors.
Thank you, and you're out of time, so there'll be no recross. Is the defense ready to rest?
Yes, Your Honor, the defense rests case in chief.
All right. So, the defense has rested, and we will now take a 5-minute recess to allow the teams to prepare for closing arguments.
Jesse James O'Malley, you may step down from the stand.
Thank you.